Okay, we are back in Legend of Heroes, Trails Through Daybreak. Now that our fun in Arasyon is done, we are back in Edith, and it's time to kick off the finale. The last day of November. It's been 8 days since the events of Arasyon came to a close. After the crisis was resolved, it was announced that the explosion of Ashtar Palace and Krail's destruction was the work of Almada. However, as if to quell any unease, it was also promptly announced that Almada was no more thanks to the CID and a number of external collaborators. With the last remaining nuclear device being recovered, the state of emergency around Edith was lifted the next day. This happened in tandem with fervent reports that the CEOs of the Quincy Company and ETWS had been formally arrested. This was a shock to many. The Quincy Company's products were beloved across the continent, and ETWS vehicles were seen as a major status symbol. It was almost unfathomable that both men had been blackmailed into funding a terrorist organization. The Quincy Company's CEO being the father of a famous A-rank bracer added to much of the discussion as well. However, as his daughter personally led the charge on his arrest, the general public sentiment was one of compassion and concern, and her attempt to turn in her bracer badge was summarily rejected by the guild's headquarters in Le Mans. Calvert's economy, which had been briefly thrown into disarray by the state of emergency, was quick to return to relative normality. Yet some things would never return. The impending end of reparations continued to emit a small degree of unease among the populace. Still, this and the culmination of events had no ill effect on President Gramhart's approval rating. Indeed, they only served to increase it. His office stated that a memorial service for Krail would be held during December 3rd's Revolution Festival. Following that would be quite the reveal. The Calvert military's newest weapon would be on display, a symbol of the country overcoming its grief and moving forward with great strength. November 30th, 1208, 9:12 a.m.
So that's that, huh?
Yeah. Well, Melchior's still on the run, which does bug me. But the authorities and the guild have taken out all their bases, and secured any routes that could be used to flee the country. Their partners in crime are being taken care of too, right?
Indeed, the Gralsritter and Iscariot have put aside their differences for now, to pursue the gardens. Several Jaegers, including those of Ikaruga, and even the Society have also been working toward that end.
Meanwhile, Heiwei and Marduk spearheaded the effort to expose all of Almada's connections. I believe their findings, which reveal a number of associates, have since been sold to the CID.
That's quite a lot.
Man, Gen and Sao never miss a beat.
Abby and the rest of our people have been hard at work with Eisenshield too.
As for the nuclear weapon, we don't need to worry about that either. Professor Hamilton and the other disciples supervised its disassembly, so it's no longer a threat. Professor Callahan isn't believed to have made any more, and the Mafia won't be capable of making more themselves anytime soon.
Even if the one sword capable of detonating them was still in their possession, they would still need a device to be detonated. I might add that Calvert is aiding the Congregation for the Sacraments in going through and clearing the rubble that was once Vashtar Palace. They expect to have finished the task and found that sword together with the halberd and armor artifacts by mid-next month.
None of them can be used by anyone but their rightful owner anyway, right? I guess once that's wrapped up, we'll be able to say this whole thing's well and truly over.
I suppose so, yes. To think we've persevered through so much.
We sure have.
I'm still worried about Melchior, though. Just to me, it's strange how no one seems to have any idea where he is.
I still can't believe what he did to his own boss. I don't know if I'll ever be able to understand how that guy thinks. Not that I want to.
Psychopath does psychopathic things. News at 11. Just how it is. I wish I could have taken revenge on the last asshole responsible for my bro's deaths. I can't win them all, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna have to leave that one to the Oathbreakers people. They say you gotta fight poison with poison. Now it's time to see if he'll live up to that old saying.
Right. But at least now, the world can finally be at ease.
Agnes? Are you still feeling guilty that you couldn't stop it all from happening? I am, but I'm also trying to tell myself that I did everything that I could, including for the children of Horacion. Even if I can't help but feel like I put a lot of people out for nothing. That's not true at all. Perhaps there may be some who would see your actions as self-righteous, but I believe they were meaningful. Of course they were, and I'm not in the business of telling my assistants what's right and wrong either. You did what you believed was right. That's good enough for me. So you got my thanks, too. Well, you're welcome, but I couldn't have done any of it without a lot of help from others. Not everything had a happy conclusion since Elaine's father ended up arrested. But I'm still so glad that we're all able to gather like this again. Yeah. Me too. Our foes were a terrifying force to be reckoned with, but through everyone's cooperation, we triumphed. You deserve a lot of praise yourself, you know. Thinking back, there were a lot of times when I don't know what we would have done without you. We owe so much to the goddess, or maybe to our chief having the devil's own luck. Could be. Either that, or because I made Lady Luck my bitch. What does that mean? Will you stop that? You really can't help yourself, can you? So we now have 6 Genesees in our possession. I doubt I could have ever gotten this far without all of you, so thank you. We're happy to help. That just leaves 2 now, though, right? There's supposed to be 8 in all, so that should be the case. Professor Hamilton's been looking into where they could be, but nothing's come up so far. None have been discovered in any of Almana's bases or the Garden's hideouts either. I'm sure they'll turn up eventually, just gotta keep looking.
So, now that we've dealt with Almada, things should be back to business as usual before long. There's still gonna be plenty on our plates, especially in the short term. But it's about time you guys started thinking about whether or not you want to keep working here.
Van? I suppose it is getting to be that time. The way things are going, my primary task will be complete before much longer. Still got other things I want to do here in the capital, at least. And hey, I'm not even employed here. Wasn't really talking to you, but since you seem so dead set against being here anyway, why not go home already? Well, I would, but the paparazzi are such a headache, and the food here is so good. I get that they're a hassle, but come on, they have to have given up on your story by now. And Nina seems worried about you, so even if you don't go see your family, you should still go back to your old place. I will, eventually. What are you, my mother? Perhaps you should discuss the situation with the owner of your apartment. I was talking to you, though. What? They're still covering all the trouble Almada caused, but I doubt that'll last more than a month. So unless I start taking on more subcontracted jobs, I'm not going to need to pay out for any assistance anymore, or have the budget to do it. Van? But I plan to find those last 2 Genesees, but it's got to be on the side while I do other work from here on. So while a helping hand when I'm swamped would be nice, it's all I'm going to need you for. Besides, you're going to be loaded up with student council work for a good while after next month rolls around. That's true, but what kind of work? There's going to be some big event taking place at Agnes' school in a few months. There's no need to hurry them into a decision. As you said, you still intend to help deal with the aftermath of Lamana's actions. I will remain here to assist you with that as well, and the more we have on our side, the better. You're not wrong there.
I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that you should be thinking about this stuff. The Revolution Festival's in 3 days, and we're going to be drowning in work until then for sure. Been a while since we could focus on 4 SPGs and Edith, so hope you're ready to dive in soon as breakfast is done.
Finale, for you, upon your return. I'll meet you guys back here at 10:30. What are you going to be up to in the meantime, Agnes? Not much. I do have something that I need to do, though. I think I should take care of a software update that needs installing now, actually. Version 3.6.2 of the Kitty engine that was released last night? I was thinking the same thing. I'll just get going for now, then. Until later. So she pushed an update, huh? Our ex-Kitty sure keeps herself busy. And I just know her workload in Arausea must have been nuts, too. This is for the best, I think.
Yeah, just tell me what you want.
She hasn't done anything out of the ordinary since Horacion. There's still a lot of mysteries to be solved about both her and the Grendel. But those have got nothing to do with the others, not even Anya's.
No, this is all wrong. This isn't who I am. This isn't me.
I was right all along. I found it. Seems my work here is now done.
Still, maybe Master was right that I laid that on them out of nowhere. There's still time until we need to head out. Why don't I go check on them? Oh, let's start.
So you're going back to your apartment?
Yeah, I guess that's the plan. I must have worried you sick, huh? It looks like Buzz Raiders finally given up on their stupid obsession with me, so it seems safe enough to live there again.
There's been so much going on lately that I'm sure they've got bigger fish to fry now.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, you're fine. I've actually been wanting to thank you for helping out Judith for a while now. Please pass on my regards to everyone else as well, including the family who runs the bistro.
Now hold your horses! I'm the one who's been helping him out, so why is he the one getting thanked?
Because I'm sure that you just weaseled your way into his trips outside the capital without taking no for an answer. I don't know all you've been up to, but I do know that you were able to return in one piece thanks to Arkwright Solutions' efforts. And with how much I respect you as my senior in the industry, I think it's only natural for me to want to say thank you.
So you respect me that much, huh? I mean, not that it isn't perfectly natural for you to respect me, of course.
Never takes much to butter her up, though I'm sure our young lady here just happens to be an expert at it. What can I say? Nina's practically a saint.
She's become such a sassy little thing. She was so cute and polite when she first started out, but look at her now. All that success must be going to her head.
That was 3 years ago, right? Though I don't know if 15's early or late for starting out in your industry.
It's not late, but it's not really early either. I started acting at 14 myself. A lot of actors and actresses get their first roles when they're children even, which just goes to show how much of an unusual case she is. She ended up going from a rookie to a top actress in 3 years, which is just crazy.
I can see why, though. I've seen a few of her films, and it's interesting seeing how different her approach to the craft is compared to yours. You can handle any kind of role that's thrown at you, yeah, but she just fully becomes the character she's playing without even trying.
I didn't realize you knew your way around different acting techniques. I agree with you, too. Her performance in Wolf's Requiem was amazing. But Gloria just blew me away.
Yeah, her Sheena Dirk was something else. The media kicked up all that fuss about an Easterner playing the role, but in the end it was hard to see her as anything other than Sheena Reborn.
Boy, she's 4 years my junior, and already she's nipping at my heels. She's sure not making it easy to stay top dog. But I say bring it on. I don't plan to go down without a fight.
Good. I got nothing but respect for that spunk you got in you. Real shame about the rest of you, though.
You better watch your darn mouth. And while I'm at it, I think what you said earlier was pretty out of line, too.
Right.
So, now that we've dealt with Almada, things should be back to business as usual before long. But it's about time you guys started thinking about whether or not you want to keep working here.
Yeah, I think so too.
Wow, I didn't expect you to outright admit it. Then...
Still, you don't want people butting in on your side hustle either, do you?
Well, no, but that's not the same thing. I inherited my techniques from my mom and hers before her. And while they might not be legal, I still think the world needs... Oh, I get you now. I don't know what your secret is, but you've got something you don't want people to get involved in too, huh? Or I guess, something you can't afford to let them get involved in.
Anyway, as two people who transform into things a teenager might have dreamed up, we gotta look out for each other. Don't know if I'm down to get caught living with an actual criminal, though, so you should still probably find some other place to live.
But I really don't want to give this place up. Well, I've got my next film's premiere coming up, so I'll go back to my old place before the festival, at least. I just wish I didn't have a bunch of stuff to report to Mom and Grammy first.
But enough about me. I get why you draw that line where you do. But the way I see it, or the way they see it, I think, it's fine. Honestly, kinda nice to have you still acting the same around times like these.
What? You come to talk about that cold bunk you said to the kiddos?
I don't know if that's the same magazine Randy was reading or not.
If it was gonna eat away at you, you shouldn't have said it in the first place. Looks lame when a dad past his prime sulks over his teenage kids.
Quit finding ways to call me old. Besides, you seem to have it in your head I wasn't talking to you, but I was. You gotta have your plans to go back home eventually, right?
Sure do. I'm a born and bred Longport boy. And I always will be. But I've only been here for 3 months. That's barely enough time to miss me. So unless I've got some specific reason to head back, I'm staying put. But I wouldn't mind going to a few other places, like Crossbell or Arabonia. Hell, I'd even put Eastern Zemuria on the table.
Look at you go.
Knock it off with the my baby's growing up vibe. Oh, and let's get one thing straight. Me staying in the capital doesn't mean I'm gonna be at your beck and call. If the girls left and this place turned into a total sausage fest, I don't even want to think about how sad a sight that'd be.
Hey, don't give me that look. I'm not after your pity, alright? By the way, your old problem ain't showing any sign of resurfacing, right?
You mean that tyrant? Yeah, nothing there. Yen can call me a reincarnation all he wants, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm as me as I can be. I decide what I want to do with my life, not some dusty old relic from the ancient past.
You're a one-of-a-kind, cocky little bastard, you know that?
And what's that supposed to mean? Don't be such a freaking creep. Anyway, you lost so I can have my fun. Though, if you don't mind waiting to kick some ass on the clock, that'll give me time to go tap some ass off the clock.
We ain't putting off work for that. Just how much have you been getting around when I haven't been looking? Who died and made you my grandpa? Go read the kids a bedtime story or something. Just let me do my thing, yeah? Got some booty calls I want to make. I'll be doing the simulator in the next video, by the way. Must be working on stuff for Marduk, probably about Almada. There's still a decent chunk of time until half-past, so I better get out of her hair.
Oh, Mr. Arkwright.
Sorry, I wouldn't have come in if I'd known you were working. All the Almada stuff almost wrapped up?
Yes. We've been able to pinpoint groups related to them, their dummy corporations, and other illegal channels. I admit to some surprise at just how far outside of Calvard their reach spreads, but Marduk has largely decontaminated the areas over which it has influence.
Your chief of security had a big role to play in that too, I'm sure. Though who wants to bet Thorndyke will use this as a chance to expand Marduk's market share?
I suspect you would be on the winning side of that bet. Between the war against the Empire and the Tower and Crossbell appearing soon after, feels like too much is happening too fast in Zemuria. As other countries seek to catch up with the Republic and its latest innovations, Zyphas, assault frames, I imagine the need for Marduk's services will only expand going forward.
Makes it abundantly clear we're living in a time of big change. And speaking of, you started thinking of the next step for yourself at all?
I am but a humble concierge. Nothing more, nothing less. My focus for the foreseeable future remains supporting you, Mr. Arkwright. Be that with Mare or with your stun caliber. I could do most of my work remotely as I did before, of course, but I am now aware of just how much more inefficient that is.
Gotcha. Sure wish I knew why your people love to have their eye on me so damn much. But I ain't gonna tell you what to do. We got an equal deal going on between us. Just keep in mind that starting next month, I'm not gonna need as much office help as I have been. Which is probably fine for you. Your plate's full enough without dealing with the day-to-day around here.
Well, I suppose I do. Though I would like to believe I'm making a fair contribution irrespective of that.
Something up?
It's nothing, really. I was only thinking that I might not be able to help you from next month onward after all. You see, next month will mark 1 year since I was given this body, and it's about time it was given some thorough maintenance.
Right.
Depending on matters here and the overall project status, I might have to return to my former environment. In that event, I would have no choice but to revert to assisting you remote.
Now hold up there. You really gonna be okay with that?
So you have an inkling as to what that former environment was? What gave it away? Was it something about the way I work? No, I suppose there isn't any point in me knowing.
It wasn't anything like that, just...
Please, don't misunderstand. As you're aware, Marduk is a logical, impartial corporation. So long as I keep demonstrating I can provide value to them, I don't doubt they will keep letting me use this body. In that regard, our relationship is quite equitable. I even plan to purchase it from them if all goes well.
That's an option? State-of-the-art artificial body can't run cheap, though.
It most certainly is costly. But with my salary, I think it's possible that I could have enough Mira saved in a few years. My current arrangement here earns me even more than my remote work did, too. So I would like to keep at it as long as possible.
Hey, happy to help. So I'm curious, just how high a salary are we talking anyway?
Well, I can't give you a specific number since that's classified information. But about enough to buy an Etoise entry-level sedan?
You could buy a used apartment in the suburbs with that kind of money. I don't believe I've ever divulged how I spend my savings in retrospect. Not sure what my job responsibilities will entail after next month's maintenance, but I believe I'll continue to explore my transfer options. They do seem quite attractive.
Hello, Van.
Oh, is it time to go already?
You still got time, don't worry, but damn, your drone is something. Their speech is stiffer than a hollow's, but it's wild how you can hold a whole conversation with them.
Yeah, they don't have complete free will, but they do have a networked sense of self. Zeros is the same. They're around the same quality as those combat shells in the Empire, from what I understand. The other mare is leagues ahead of them on a technical scale, but Hades knows how long it'll take humanity to make something similar.
That'd be a tough ask, even for Hamilton and Cronkite, huh?
Oh, absolutely. We're talking singularities here. Still, we know it's theoretically possible. That was proven by what happened behind the scenes 2 years ago. You've heard all about that, I assume.
A bit, yeah. Guess I don't even need to ask what you're gonna do once you graduate. Feels like a given that you'll be focusing on orbital drone research, or have you got your sights set on even higher?
I'd like to help the professor with her work at some point, even if I don't feel like I'm quite ready yet. Still, I'd rather finish things here before moving on to something else. Working here has been incredible for broadening my horizons too, so I think continuing my studies here would be more than worth its while.
You think?
Basel has patently more in the way of facilities, but the orbital network is lightning quick these days. It's even helped me attend lectures at the Institute remotely, so it hasn't been half as inconvenient as I was expecting. Being here will also let me take part in the project to upgrade the network currently in use in Edith and the surrounding area. Though, at some point, I'd really like to broaden my studies at the Epstein Foundation, ZCF, and Reinford.
Makes sense. Man, our little boy who could only think of protecting his grandmother's home is all ready to take the world by storm. With how grown up you are, you should have just joined us in the spring instead of being shy.
What? Who are you, Aaron?
My bad, I only heard it after it came out of my mouth. But yeah, compared to the others, it hasn't been long since you moved in. If you're satisfied with the setup you got going on here, I don't see the harm in working from here for a while longer. Plus, you got Paulette to breathe down your neck if your health starts to nosedive from researching all night.
You're probably right. It's nice how she always worries. Still, are you sure you aren't gonna need my help after this month? Almada might be out of the picture, but the issue of the Genesis is still ongoing. And there's still a lot we don't know about Mare, the Grendel, or Marduk either. Then there's whatever Yang, Professor Cronkite, is working on with the President.
You got a point. There's a lot going on. So if I need help with stuff, I'll be sure to come knocking. Means you can come knocking if you need help with stuff too. I can investigate whatever you want, even down to the color of Cronkite's underwear.
That's so random. And don't think I didn't notice you patting me on the head.
You've become very red, Katra.
You catch a cold? Let me feel.
My temperature is perfectly normal, thank you very much.
I did want to mention, don't feel obligated to shoulder my workload. I appreciate it, but solving problems myself helps me learn more about the bigger picture. You never know when that knowledge base may come in handy. You look satisfied, Katra. Few shall assist you, Katra. So yeah, we're 25 minutes in. At the rate we're going, I may actually have to do the virtual battles in the video after this one. I don't know. Or the video after this one, I mean. Are those Central Eastern Western history textbooks?
Oh, yeah! Agnes gave me the Western one. They're supposed to be the same edition, but there's a bunch of little differences between their contents and viewpoints. It's been really eye-opening comparing them, even if there's also lots of stuff I don't really understand.
Well, ain't you a budding scholar? If you can get your hands on the Far Eastern version, I bet you find all kinds of differences there too.
I was thinking the same thing. So, Aaron promised to give me his old copy. You know, before I met you, I barely left the village. Most of my life was spent inside of it. But Ida wasn't kidding when she talked about how big the outside world is. Even if I dedicated my entire life to studying, I doubt I could learn all there is to know about it.
Probably, yeah. Listen, I meant what I said earlier, but I probably should have brought it up out of nowhere the way I did.
No, I totally get where you're coming from. The timing is right. Now that Almada's gone, I feel like I've been able to avenge Ida's death. It sounds like Abi's willing to forgive me for disobeying his orders, too. I also miss Umi, my mom, and my siblings Lana and Camille, to tell you the truth.
Shouldn't that be Camille?
But I've also gotten used to living in Calvert, and I have a lot of fun at Sunday school. And more than anything else, I'd be really sad to say goodbye to you and everyone here.
Still, we're not talking about tomorrow or even next week, and even if you do go home, it's not like we'll never see each other again. If your goal is to become a real warrior, though, then I think the choice is clear.
I guess you're right.
Though you don't have to go down that path if you don't want to. There's plenty of things you could do off the battlefield. You could even try following a path more like Sylphide's.
You really think I could be like Fee?
I'm not pushing you to join the guild or anything, to be clear. Just saying it might be better than you following in your brother's footsteps.
Yeah, I think so too. Still, I never even considered becoming a bracer. Is it okay if I think more about it?
Think about it as long as you want. There's no rush. And just be ready to head out in a bit, okay?
Okay.
That one went by kinda quick. Made me think about what else I can do besides just going back home being a warrior. I think I'm confusing myself about it. There are just so many options. So I want to take the time to really think it through. Thanks for all the help along the way, Van. So this is where you snuck off to. Yes, I had a quick errand to attend to. Okay, I had to stop for a moment. Are all your preparations squared away? Preparations, feels like a bit of a stretch to call them that, but yeah, I'm ready. Still got plenty of time, so no need to rush. Well, there's rushing, and then there's being efficient. Guess she's in the middle of something. I'll bug her later after my stuff's done. Where'd you get a jukebox? And smoking and drinking, aren't you supposed to be a man of the cloth? Well, look who's made himself right at home.
As you well know, I shouldn't even be alive right now. I've decided to make the most of this chance, to try things I couldn't even imagine in my previous life, and have found myself rather enjoying them. The magazines you used to read were quite inspirational, if I'm being honest.
Wait, so this is my fault? If his hordes of more respectable students are found this out, they'd have my head. So, Ashlad isn't the uncooperative jackass I was expecting.
Indeed. He may be a man of few words, but he is an honorable, just, and determined one, capable of seeing the greater picture. Rank-and-file armed monks trust him, so I would be confident in Iscariot's handling of matters, if he were the only one they answered to. However...
We got his boss to worry about, their captain, right? The one all 30,000 members of the Papal Guard in Iscariot answer to.
Correct. They took up their post after my retirement, so I've never met them. I believe their identity is considered a top secret, even among the Congregation for Divine Worship, to whom the Papal Guard also answers. I suspect only a small number of people know who they are.
If it's who I think it is, yes, we've met her.
Several hundred Iscariot monks, cardinals of the Congregation for Divine Worship, the commander of the Gralsritter, and the Pope. Whoever they are without a doubt the Congregation's wild card.
But what reason would someone like that have to get their right-hand man involved in this? The Genesees? But they're more of a Gralsritter kind of deal. Actually, why are you even telling me all this stuff in the first place? I'm already like a magnet for info I don't want to know as it is.
It's far too late to be caring about such things, my young friend. Still, whether they are criminal or legal, your old friends or your assistants, I genuinely believe that the more people you know and interact with, the better. Who we meet shapes who we become. Be these relationships fortunate or foul, we are all the more human because of them. Surely the past 5 years have taught you this.
Well, people's natures just don't change easily, I guess. Having you in Horacion was a huge help. As huge a help as it is having you here now. So I count this relationship among the fortunate ones, at least. So keep sticking around so the younger generation can kick back a bit, yeah? I'd pay you as thanks, but I don't think you'd take the Mira. At least let me get you something even nicer than that Jackie you've taken a liking to. Anyway, we've still got plenty of time left, so I'll go ahead and leave you be. Take it easy, Master.
There are things in life you cannot avert your eyes from. No matter how hard you try. Whether you can realize that fundamental truth is down to you, Van.
So yeah, the more I crunch the numbers, the more I think it is who I think it is. I have said my piece, all that's left is for you to look within yourself and make your decision. Now then, I'll need something to pass the time. Perhaps a bike magazine or two will help. Special feature, heart-pounding courses with heart-stopping views. Calling me intrigued. So what's he doing now? Sleeping? Or a standby mode, I guess? Well, no point waking him up. Sleep tight. Wrong room. Also wrong room. It was over here.
Not this way.
So yeah, if you didn't ever notice that side door, this would be really awkward. Oh, hi Van. We just wrapped up the breakfast menu for the day. What she said, no more from the morning menu for you. Don't care if you didn't get enough to eat, you lost your chance. I'm fine, I'm a grown-ass adult, I don't need to eat that much. I just dropped by to kill time until I leave for work. Also, I just wanted to say I'm so glad you all made it back here safe and sound. I second that. Sometimes you make for noisy neighbors, but lately it's hard to rest easy when things get too quiet. Especially now that I won't be seeing my Krail regular anymore. Oh yeah, I guess you and that guy from Krail had some history, huh? I'm sorry. Yeah, since he's helped with the restaurant stock, we got to know him pretty well. We'll be going to his memorial service, as you can imagine. It's only fair we send him off after everything he did for us. Right, makes sense. Well, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, so things should still be lively around the office. But the source of the issue is gone now, so my assistants might split off soon. I'll believe it when I see it. It's a little hard to imagine they would. I was going to ask earlier, but what about that racer? Did he stop by again? He has. He actually stopped by yesterday, thanks for asking. That's good, I guess. He alright? I suppose. He enjoyed his meal, at least. What's the verdict? Anything between them or what? What? You don't gotta glare at me like that. Oh, are you talking about Maxim? He's funny in a lame way. Dude's got his work cut out for him before anyone respects him as a father. Good luck, pal. About damn time you lot showed up. It's almost noon. Move your lazy asses. Yeah, he's not in a good mood. Guess I'll just head out and keep myself busy.
What's on the menu?
So I guess I had to eat them for them to appear here. Just having them in my inventory wasn't enough.
Be seeing you.
I'm relieved to see you're all back home safe. Yume's as energetic as ever, so you can't just leave her without someone to play with, no? You got it.
What'll it be, hun? See you again.
And that's Anya's that's up there now. Were you talking about Maxim? He's funny in a lame way. Harsh, don't let him hear that, okay?
Not this way.
Okay, that should do it. Oh, Van, is it almost time to go?
It's getting there, but we still got some time. Can't believe how lifelike this guy is. Professor Hamilton's students are something else.
I was told there's more to him sleeping in the sun than just imitating dogs, too. He can turn the sun's rays into orbital energy.
Makes sense. I remember that being one of the areas Professor Hamilton was researching. Still, I know you've gotten real comfy around here over the past few months. But it's almost time to start planning the next school festival, ain't it? Isn't the student council gonna get real busy soon?
Yes, you're absolutely right. I'm starting to feel the pressure, to tell you the truth. The end of April still feels like a long ways off now, but I know it'll be here before we know it. I was able to attend last year's festival just after enrolling, and there was just so much to see and do over those 3 days. It was hard to believe that the whole event was planned and executed by students alone, even if quite a lot of them did take part.
Yeah, it's a staple of spring in the capital at this point, especially with how many people check it out. And with your current president at the helm, I can see this upcoming one being a festival for the books.
The other student council members and I are a little worried about that. So you did attend Aramis then? Just like Elaine and Mr. Kincaid.
Yeah. I dropped out not long after becoming a second-year student, though. Elaine and I were in the same year, while Renee was a third year. The second he had the chance, Renee took on being student council president, because of course he did. And because we'd known for so long, we started helping out with student council work, too. Then Elaine stepped up and took the role of vice president once the former one decided to go abroad for a while. So there you go, that's how the festival came to be under one man's merciless watch.
I see. Of course, after getting to know you so well, I can imagine that whatever you organized for it was anything but typical. I'm sure Elaine was less than impressed with it, while Mr. Kincaid thought it would be funny and thoroughly approved, even though he probably shouldn't have.
It's like you were right there with us. I still remember my first drink at the after-party back then, too. Man, it was so good. You know how much of a sweet tooth I've got, but not even the bitterness of the alcohol could keep me from cracking a smile.
I should have known. You were pushing the boundaries of legality even as a teenager. So the festival came to a close, and the student council elections were held in May. That's when Elaine became the next president. And when you dropped out, I assume. You did it without warning, too. Without so much as a single discussion with anyone beforehand. So, how right am I?
You sure you're not psychic? It's like you're in my head.
Well, I know the average school year at Aramis, so I just put two and two together after seeing the way you talk to them. That, and these last few months have also done wonders for my personal growth. I used to be this shy little girl who was afraid to leave her comfort zone. Someone who couldn't even speak her mind to the one family member she wished she could the most. But now, I feel like a whole new me. I can walk a little further, and I've learned to say what's in my heart. I have everyone here to thank for that. But most of all, I have you to thank for that.
I thought dividing my high school years was enough of a surprise, but you weren't done, huh? At this rate, you're gonna have everyone running around at your beck and call even more than Ren.
Oh, stop. I doubt that'll be the case. Though there is one person I wish would pay a bit more attention to me.
I assume that's Albert? What's up?
Nothing. I was just thinking that I still have a long road ahead of me.
So you got to talk to him a bit on the phone after what happened in Halcyon, but that's it. Yes, though I'm used to that by now. Seems like this year's Revolution Festival is going to be a big one too, what with the memorial service and more besides. It's no wonder he doesn't have much time to dedicate to me right now. But he did say we could get together after the ceremony is over, thankfully. Really, guess that's better than nothing, and at least you can still see him. That is true. Compared to Elaine, I'm very fortunate. I can't even imagine what she must be going through. She's amazing to have been able to do what she did, to make what must have been an excruciating decision, even if it was the right one. I don't think there are many people who could have followed through on that, bracer or otherwise. I hate that the hard times clearly aren't over for her. But if you could just be there for her, I think she would like that very much. I don't mean to put that responsibility squarely on your shoulders, of course. Mr. Kincaid and the guild should be there for her too, but still. I mean, yeah, I wasn't gonna give her the cold shoulder or anything. It won't make up for what I did 7 years ago, but I'd like to think I can be there for her in some way others can't. Sounds like she won't be back here for a while, though. She's got a ton left to do in Horacion. What's that look for? Not proactive enough, you think? Oh, don't mind me. I'm sure just knowing you want to comfort her would mean a lot in itself, really. Okay. Yeesh. Can't always please a teenager once they get to that age, I guess. Still... What is it? Why are you laughing? You lovebirds want to get a room? I didn't know you were all here. Is it already time to leave, then? Might want to get your eyes checked if you thought you were seeing hard eyes. Oh, I don't know. Did you hear anything special, Zeros? Not you too, Katja. You're just making small talk, honest. I feel a little better now, to be honest. Our futures may still be uncertain, but for now we can continue to take each day as it comes. That we can, and sorry, I shouldn't have said what I did earlier. Van? Our boss is such a little troublemaker. Don't sweat it. They say not being able to read the room comes with old age. You know. One day you're gonna realize I'm still in my prime. It's always the same with you two. Forget it. Let's just go see what's on the docket for today. The Revolution Festival's 3 days out, and I wouldn't be surprised if the aftermath of Almano's destruction led to problems too. It's only 10:30, there's a lot of us, so I think we can cover all the districts in this part of town by today, right? Right. Then let's get to work. Okay, we're gonna grab the usual 2 of Rosette and Judith. In the event we have to throw down, we now have the group we're looking for. And I'm gonna put the break here. When we pick up next time, we'll actually go around and do the conversing and the jobs. I'm the Hero of Light. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.